now is a simple feed chatter and some of the other close-in sounds that you can make with your MPK Custom Call. The feed chatter, there's actually some discussion amongst waterfowl biologists as to whether the sound that we often describe as a feed chatter actually is that, or if it's actually more to do with an interaction between male and female mallard whilst they're sitting together on the water, but that's a discussion for another day. Commonly referred to as the feed chatter, the sound we're talking about is this one. It's a very simple sound to make. You can do it at a variety of speeds. As you've just seen there, I was doing it in what you would call duck time, the sort of speed that you would hear an individual duck making. Another way of looking at it is that you can make the sound quicker. And that would simulate a large group of birds making the same sound individually but from a distance. And the overall effect of that is to give you that much faster sounding chatter, the sound that you get the greater the distance you are away from the birds. The sound itself is simple enough to make, bearing in mind the three criteria that we've propounded previously, which is your tongue position, your air insertion and your air production. Remember to get those correct, and by simply making the sound tick 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 tick, remembering of course that when you're making that tick 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 sound, that you still have to push air forward from your diaphragm. I often hear people trying to employ the ticker 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 part of it, but without moving any air forward. And of course it's the forward moving air that vibrates the reed that gives you the duck sound. So to demonstrate, tick 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 tick. Variations in speed, but essentially that's the feed chatter. Right, Nick's top tip for the day. For those of you who've ever watched YouTube at some of the duck calling stuff on there, you will occasionally, and particularly with American competition calling, you'll see competition callers do this. You'll see them hold the call with both hands, and it took me a while to work out what the advantages of this are, but particularly if you're a novice, although this may not be a method that you will subsequently employ in the field, certainly when you're learning to blow a duck call, it's something that's well worth considering. And the reason behind it is this, that with your left hand, assuming that like me you're right-handed, but with your left hand holding the call, additionally, what that left hand is doing is holding the call at a constant pressure against your mouth embrasure, which means that you have a far higher degree of consistency of pressure insertion into the call than you do when you're holding it one-handed, when all the various movements that you're making, if I exaggerate it, can increase the pressure with which you're holding the call to your mouth. Use two hands. Do away with all that variation. Well worth something that you might want to try.